Welcome back. So we've done this daisy-like flower on there, and I skipped ahead a little bit on another day and completed this one also in another sketchbook. But when you still have another page left, or if you have started a new sketchbook, you can easily follow along. So I'll go through step-by-step actions you can take to also paint your next daisy perfectly, and I'll pop in a picture for you. Look at that prettiness. So we'll start off from the center as always, because all flowers start in the center and each petal comes around and forms around that center base. So if you haven't seen me explain that before, let's do that quickly. I'll just page to an open spot in my book. All right, so if you have the center of your flower, it will always be connected to a stem, of course, and whatever is growing from there will sprout from that center point. So whether you have a center that has multiple little polyps, you can always draw them out from that center position and make them small and large, vary their angles as well. Try not to be too symmetrical. Even in nature, those flowers may look like they are symmetrical, but if you look at each individual little one, you'll see that they have their own shape and position they lay in. So that very center was this yellow part here, and from there we can go slightly larger and see how I'm just making little bunny hops. Remember when we were at school and we started to learn how to write? We went pages and pages with those bunny hops. Do you remember that? So this is the same. And while we on this area here, you can either go from the top there to the next top, or from the center to the next center. When you do it this way, you'll have more symmetry, and when you do it that way, it will be a little more random. All right, either way or a combination of the two will do. So I don't want to go out too wide with too many rows of these, because I want to start focusing on the third row of little petals. All right, and they are about twice as wide as those middle ones, and you can just indicate that with a little bit of an outward popping petal. Again, a layer or two just as we graduate. Something we can think of is that that middle part has a different color. So if you're not going to indicate that with color, it would be a nice idea to just darken it slightly. The same with those. That's this row here, or those set of rows. So you can even overlap them to indicate a layered effect. See how densely layered they are? These ones are slightly spread out. They are there. And onto the longer flowers, or longer petals I mean. So you can see that one is shorter and thinner than the others, and then you have a few larger ones. So even though it looks like they're all the same, you can still vary them. So while I'm looking at my reference, I'm going to draw out that first row of petals, and I'm not following the flower, I am following the concept, meaning loose petals going around from that center point. The second row I'm going to connect them loosely, not really making contact, but having them slightly longer than that first row. And again, if I had to elongate those petals, they'd all come towards the middle, and that's what gives them that radiating look when they follow the roundness. All right, and maybe one last row, not too far out, but tuck them in behind and vary the sizes again. So this is the basic shape of that Barberton daisy or the gerbera, and you can always tweak it, add more detail. Like this one is a little bit more stylized. You can use a marker to define areas. This I would classify as illustrative and sketchy, if you know what I mean. And the same goes for that first green one we looked at earlier, this one here. This is also a little more sketchy, but you can see the three variations of the exact same flower happening. So I can't show you all three, but you can have a sense of the differences on those. Right, I hope you found this helpful, and we'll tackle the next one in the book, and I'll see you over there. All right then. Hi, it's Tanya from Anso Designs. Come alive with Sketchbook Blossoms in this beautiful 16-part video workshop. We'll have dirty hands, go through 16 videos crammed full of flowery goodness. I'll share my techniques and skills with you, learn new drawing practices, follow along and fill your own sketchbook with beautiful things.